Hello, welcome to Workshop Wednesday. I am Jen Thomas from the Black Mountain YMCA, and today I'm getting ready to do a quick demonstration on making cauliflower pizza crust. As I think you all know, I have a gluten-free diet, and this is one recipe I found to create pizzas that my daughter will enjoy and where the crust holds together, but it's not hard like cardboard, which sometimes can happen when you make a gluten-free pizza crust with just gluten-free flour. Today I'm actually using a little bit, I'm using 1 cup of gluten-free flour that I had to add some xanthan gum to. The directions are on the back of the bag for how much xanthan gum to use for what you're making. And I already have my riced cauliflower drained and ready to go. So a couple ways you can drain your riced cauliflower. I like to just buy frozen riced cauliflower and let it defrost. And then I put it in a colander. I lay some paper towels down, and then I put it on top of the paper towels, and I place other paper towels on top, and then I just apply pressure. I used a heavy pan, and I actually started doing it last night so that by the time I woke up this morning, all the moisture would be drained. But if you're pressed for time and you don't have a whole night to let it do that, you can place your riced cauliflower in a towel and wring out that towel and get all the moisture out, and then your cauliflower will be ready. So this is what we do. This is 1 bag of riced cauliflower. I'm adding to that 1 cup of gluten-free flour and the xanthan gum. I have 2 eggs slightly beaten. I'm adding that to it. And then I have a 1/2 cup of cheese. I'm using Parmesan and mozzarella. Now I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt to this recipe. And the recipe calls for cayenne pepper, but I don't have any. So I'm putting a 1/4 teaspoon of hot Hungarian paprika. I'm going to go ahead and just mix this mixture up. Now, y'all, you don't have to use gluten-free flour. You can use cornmeal as well, just depending on what you have. I tend to like gluten-free flour a little bit more than I like cornmeal, so I often will use that instead for this recipe. You just mix it all together. Meanwhile, my oven is preheating on 400 degrees, because the trick to this is once you get this crust formed, you have to pre-cook the crust a little bit before you put your pizza sauce on and your cheese and all of that. So I'm almost mixed here, and it just really almost automatically just sticks together easily. Quick and easy lunch or dinner with the families. You just want to make sure you're just mixing all that up, because we have all those ingredients and we want to evenly distribute them, especially your cayenne pepper or your hot paprika. And you don't want someone to get a mouthful and feel like their mouth is caught on fire unexpectedly. It just adds really a little flavor, not really so much a kick. So I'm all mixed together. As you can see, it's just sticking together. Now, I have my pizza pan where I've placed parchment paper on it. This is key. You have to place parchment paper on your pizza pan. Otherwise, the crust will stick to your pan even if you grease it. So I have my parchment paper down. I'm just going to scoop my mixture out, plop it down on the middle of my pan. I'm going to just use my hands. There's no way to do it without using your hands. So I'm going to get that excess off my spoon, because I want that. I want that for my crust. And now you can use your spoon or your hand to just flatten out. Let me turn the screen a little so you can see what I'm doing. And just flattening it out, forming it into a pizza crust. Again, I've got my parchment paper. So that's going to be great because it will ensure that my pizza crust when I am finished cooking it, comes off the pan nicely. I have done this without the parchment paper before, greasing, thinking I was good to go, and I was not. I was sorely mistaken on how that would turn out, and we basically couldn't eat our pizza because I couldn't get it off of the pan. So, finishing flattening this out. Once you've flattened it out, you're going to put it in the oven. Now, a lot of recipes say to cook it for 20 minutes like this, pre-cooking the crust. I find that to be a little too much. It gets really hard when I do that, and it's not as enjoyable. So I like to cook it for about 10 to 15 minutes, just kind of giving it a little touch test as it's cooking to see when it's ready. Almost ready to plop it in the oven. You want to kind of, you can figure it out, the thickness of how you want your crust. You don't want it too thin, you don't want it too thick. So I love this recipe because, of course, it's gluten-free and it means I can eat pizza with enjoyment. But also, sometimes kids, they don't want to eat the vegetables. And this is a great way to sneak in some veggies, and they don't have a clue usually that it's even there. So that works out pretty well. So this is something you can do with your children, your grandchildren. You can even let them help you make a crust. It's fun. So I'm ready. My crust is ready. Oops. Don't want it to fall off. That would not work out. So, and this is what it looks like. I hope you can see that. It's pretty difficult to hold this up. That's what it looks like when it's all together. So I will be placing this in the oven, and I will be cooking it for about 10 to 15 minutes. So go ahead and give this a whirl sometime, and I hope you find it helpful. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for sticking with the why. Hope to